Hi, I'm Mr. Burke, and welcome to my construction technology class. Today I want to do a double demonstration of showing the last step to constructing this part and attaching it to the base plate for your phone. And so this little cleat that holds your phone, we're going to bring it over here to the table saw. And I've got a jig attached to our miter gauge, and you can see that right here, we've got a stacked dado cutter in our table saw right here. You can notice the chipping blades between the two outside blades that look relatively normal. And that's going to cause it to cut a wider kerf, and it's going to land right there in my jig. And so it looks like that. And we're going to use that to cut this piece so that it looks like this. Now ignore this little part right here. You see I've got that. This was a test piece right here. And so yours won't have that. You're going to use the lasered design right there. And this will be the front side of your project. So anyhow, we're going to cut that little slot. That slot is for a phone charge cord, so that you can use this with a cord if you'd like to. And so what we're going to do here is we're going to put this part right here down against the table, and we're going to put the big flat part up against the jig right there like that, and then we're going to push it against the stop block like this. And then once we do that, we're going to lock it in place until we hear the click right there. And then this is set to where the blade is going to cut all the way through this part that it's supposed to, but it's not tall enough to get my cam there. And so we're going to reach down here. Remember that we pull toward us to turn the machine on. We'll push that back in a second and turn it off. So we're just going to put one hand on the handle right here, one hand out here to kind of steady it. Nice slow cut. Draw it back carefully. Turn your machine off. After the blade stops, then we can retrieve our piece. We'll lift up on the cam right there, get our piece out, and now you can see the result of that. It looks like this. And then we're going to bring it over to the workbench over here to attach it. Now over here, we're going to use the stapler. And I've got the air hose. We'll bring the air hose over. Now, when you glue, a properly glued joint is stronger than the wood itself. And so that means that it's got to have pressure on it while it dries. And so we're going to, well, first I'm going to try to get that little burr off of there. There we go. We want this to be pretty good going in. All right, now this surface where my name is, that's going to get glue, and then these two surfaces right here are going to get glue, and then that's going to stick onto these surfaces. And so a properly glued joint is stronger than the wood itself. If it were to ever get broken, it would break on the wood and not on the glue itself. And so we're going to spread some glue, and it looks like this. We're just going to do a bead like that, and we're going to do a tiny little bit here and a tiny little bit here. And that's going to be plenty. And we're going to take our finger and we're going to spread it like this. And we want to spread it until it covers the entire surface. It looks like a thin coat of paint. So that looks pretty good right there. All right. And now what I like to do is I like to take my thumb and run my thumb on the outside edges, because that helps to remove excess glue. Because ideally a little bit of squeeze out means that you got proper pressure applied, but a bunch of squeeze out just creates a mess that you don't want to have to clean up later. And so I like to try to head a little bit of that off before we glue it together by scraping it with my fingertip away from the edges like that. And so now I'm going to set that there. I'm going to let it get tacky for a minute. Show you how to get rid of the glue from your fingers. You just rub it against your hands, and the friction from your hands is going to cause it to ball up and fall off like a booger. Don't eat the booger. It's not good for you. It does not produce 100% daily value of fiber, vitamin C, vitamin K, potassium, or anything else like that. And so don't eat the booger. But do rub your hands and get that glue off your hands. If we get glue on the table, then we're going to do it the same way. We're just going to kind of rub it until it balls up and falls off. We're going to take this piece and we're going to put it on the bottom of your board. We're going to line it up centered. Let's see. Right there you can see that it hangs over the edge just a tiny little bit. And that looks pretty centered already. Now notice that my slot is on the back side and my laser design is on the front side right here. And that right there is what I'm after. And so I'm just going to kind of press it and I'm going to let it sit for a minute. And I'm going to connect my air hose. Now if you're the first person to use the stapler, then you'll connect it. And if you're the last person to use it, you'll disconnect it. And you're going to pull this little metal sleeve back. It's spring loaded. And so you're going to pull that metal sleeve back, you're going to jam the connector in, and then let the metal sleeve go, and that's connected, okay? You reverse the process to disconnect it here in just a minute. We're going to take this, I'm going to stand it up carefully, not to accidentally move this. We're just going to put 2 staples in it. We've got to depress the pressure foot all the way. There's 1, and then there is 2. And it looks like I might not have had pressure to get that, so we'll pull that out real quick and try again. Okay, and that's much better. And so now we'll disconnect the air supply, just like that. And then we'll check and see how we did. And this looks pretty good. We pull on it and it's nice and solid. And that is how you attach that lower cleat for your phone stand. I want to show you just real quick that we've got about a 7/8 inch narrow crown staple in there. If you end up being the one that has to replace staples, that's how you get into it to replace the staples. Okay. And so there you have it. That is how to attach that lower cleat to your phone stand. And thank you for watching.